It is here, it is finally here. Ampere has arrived. 3 new graphics cards, incredible performance across the board, and prices that are surprisingly affordable, for high-end graphics cards that is. In this video, I'm going to share with you my full thoughts on everything Ampere, tell you exactly what you need to know, and if you are going to be buying one, give you a little bit of advice to make sure that you're spending the right amount of money and you're getting the graphics card that's right for you. So then, Ampere. It's an entirely new architecture that's not only more powerful than the one that came before it, but frankly it cleans up a lot of the mess and confusion that was found with the RTX 20 series. Because you see, RTX was the start of almost like the next generation of GPUs, with each die segmented into 3 different sections. One for traditional game rendering, one for ray tracing, and then one for machine learning. And this sounded really cool, especially with a whole new design. It definitely looked the part, and the Gamescom 2018 press conference actually was incredibly awesome. You got to see all these really cool effects. But as time went on, it almost became apparent that there wasn't that much of a performance jump between the 10 series and the 20 series. All we got were like this suite of RTX effects with things like DLSS and then ray tracing, but 99% of the games that people played didn't actually support these effects. So you're essentially buying a graphics card that didn't really do anything new. And the stuff that did come took a while to come as well. If you bought one of these at launch, there was pretty much nothing you could play or enable to actually see these effects in action. Ampere changes all of this though, as now we're getting huge performance gains in every single title that you play, in addition to the reduced latency and higher frame rates in any ray trace game. Obviously, to what extent, we're going to have to wait and see because the cards haven't yet come into the studio. We're going to be testing them, benchmarking them, reviewing them. So do get subscribed to see different builds and all of these different numbers as soon as they land. Make sure you're one of the first ones to see that. Hit that bell down below. But we do already have quite a decent idea of the performance gains versus the old generation, and it is incredibly exciting. Nvidia are actually reporting a performance per watt improvement of 1.9x. And this is incredible, as it means we can get more gaming frame rates from smaller, quieter graphics cards. Now the RTX 3070 is a perfect example of this, as we have something that's slightly faster than an RTX 2080 Ti, for only $499. If you're not fussed about going for something that's a little bit beefier and even more powerful though, and you want the very best, then the flagship gaming graphics card is going to be the RTX 3080, and it has double the performance of the RTX 2080 for the same price, $699. Confusingly, if you want the very, very best, then there's something gigantic out there for you, the new Titan, or the RTX 3090. This huge triple slot beast whacks 24 gigabytes of VRAM and is 50% faster than the Titan RTX, which allows you to experience 8K gaming for $1,499. Ouch. Now, I was just as confused as you when Jensen sort of announced the 3080 as the flagship gaming graphics card, but then announced something that was even more powerful. But it's actually quite simple, let me explain. So essentially the Titan range of graphics cards were always slightly faster than like the flagship gaming graphics card, but you had all of these different features. You have more CUDA cores, you have more VRAM. It's more aimed at creators, anyone that sort of needs to use a graphics card for like encode, decode, storing loaded graphics memory, all of that good stuff. But there were loads of gamers that also wanted to have the very best and felt shortchanged that they couldn't buy the very best very easily. So what Nvidia have done, have brought the price essentially of the Titan down a little bit. They've rebranded it because, I mean, how many Titans have there been? And now gamers that want to buy the 3080 aren't going to feel shortchanged because the performance gains, you're probably going to see, what, 20 to 30% difference between the 3080 and the 3090, but the price is over double. And if you're thinking that the price of the 3090 is way too expensive, then it's not really aimed at you. It's definitely aimed at businesses, people that are going to be using these graphics cards for compute and all of this stuff, for something that's going to speed up their workflow massively. That's worth it, but for a gamer, probably not, which is why the 3080 is branded as the fastest gaming graphics card. I think I explained that quite well. I'm pleased with that. In terms of the design, all of the cards now pack HDMI 2.1, which brings 4K 120Hz gaming to TVs for the very first time, though sadly there isn't any DisplayPort 2.0, which is definitely a little bit of a shame when it comes to things like PC monitors. The Founders Edition cooler has definitely seen a big change, with a smaller PCB allowing for a clever cooling system that should work a lot better than before, and of course you can expect all of the AIBs like Asus and MSI to take this even further with their designs and probably add a whole lot more RGB. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about Ampere. We can get a whole lot more technical, but on a sort of need to know gamers basis, I think that's your lot. So the question really is, should you buy one? And if you are gonna buy one, which one? And that's a good question, but it's almost not the right question you should be asking yourself. Because at the moment, there's a big hype train, everyone's gonna be talking about this, and it might get you very excited, you might wanna splash the cash, but just taking a step back for a second and avoiding the hype, the real question you should be asking yourself when you're buying a new graphics card is, what monitor am I gonna be playing this on? What resolution is it? What refresh rate? And then find the appropriate graphics card that's gonna match that. Because I see so many people just wanting to buy the very best all the time. I know I've done this, and while I don't think you're necessarily going to regret it, when you're spending money on a graphics card, it makes a whole lot more sense to actually get something that is suitable and is going to be able to drive your equipment at the appropriate resolution and refresh rate. 8K gaming is a pretty cool concept, but it's certainly not going to be realistic for the next couple of years. And even gaming at 4K 120Hz is still going to be very niche. And if you're using a PC display, 1440p high refresh rate, then you still don't need all that much power. So to be totally honest, the RTX 2080 Ti has been so good to me over the last 2 years, until I blew it up a couple of days ago, which I know was very convenient timing. It was an accident, I promise. You can find that video in the top right corner of your screen. But the point is, this has all of the power that you're going to need, and you can now get it for around about £500 or dollars. So if that's all you're going to need, why spend any more than that? What they're offering is a fantastic price proposition, and I honestly think that the 3070 is going to be the go-to card and the one that I would buy for myself. But ultimately, if you are going to be playing on a 4K TV, you want to have ray tracing enabled, and you just want that stable 4K 60 or above, then obviously the 3080 is going to make a whole lot more sense. And if you do want the very best and money is not an object to you and you just want to parade around with the RTX 3090, then obviously that's going to make sense. And if you do want to do 8K gaming, clearly that's the way to go. So that's the way that I would look at things anyway. Just keep a nice, cool head, sort of avoid the hype train as much as possible, and just know what you need to buy, and then buy it. Be nice and calm and collect about it. But as I say, I will be testing all of these cards in the not too distant future. I've already been going around begging ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte, the lot, to send me cards so that I can review each of the cards, not just like a 3070 and a 3080. I want to do all of them. Do like this video if you've enjoyed it. If it's helped, please let me know as well. This is quite a cool little thing for me to do. As I say, get subscribed, follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you want a bit more behind the scenes. And yeah, that should be the lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.